Hello and welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Chainsaw. I'm Todd.
And I'm Craig.
Well, we are in week 2 of our Christmas extravaganza, and I thought we would go for week 2 to go for a sequel, number 2. And we are doing Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, a movie I know you have been resisting for years, but fortunately for us, several people have requested it over the years, and so I figured we might as well get around to it, and now is the time. Why have you been resisting this for years?
Because it's terrible. I mean...
we see a lot of terrible stuff.
I know, but I've seen it before, and do I really want to sit through that again? And I get it. It's campy, and people have fun with it, and I get it. It is campy and fun. I think the thing that irritates me the most, and obviously we'll talk about this in more depth, but what irritates me the most is you have to sit through the whole first movie first. And
yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, I actually enjoy the first movie for what it is, but you put on a new movie and they're like, oh, okay, all right, they're going to catch us up to what happened in the first movie. And that usually happens in,
10 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If it's long.
Maybe 10. Mm-hmm.
This, they basically... You just watch the whole first movie again, just narrated by the protagonist of this movie. So there's there's a voiceover narration, but you're just watching, to be fair, the best parts of the first movie again. So
yeah,
I guess you could go a couple of ways. You could skip part 2 altogether, or you could just watch part 2 because you're getting the best of the first movie anyway.
That's good. That's a good point, yeah.
Anything that you don't get from the first movie in that recap, the first half, literally the first half of the second movie is all recap. Anything that you don't get from the first movie in that recap isn't worth seeing anyway. So, I mean, I guess at least it has that going for it.
I mean, you get the best scenes from the first movie, but I don't know. I kind of, watching this again... Well, watching the first movie again by watching the sequel, which half of it is the first movie being recapped. I don't know, it reminded me how much I really enjoyed the first movie. And I remember when we did that years ago, we came into it remembering it was a snooze fest. And then when we watched it, we were like, oh my God, this is actually kind of good and entertaining and had some sympathy for the main character, Billy or whatever, who sees the trauma as a kid and then grows up and is traumatized to dress as Santa and then punish people because of that. I mean, watching it reminded me how much I really enjoyed the first movie. And I think, although these are the best scenes from the first movie, I think the first movie deserves a full watch.
Fair.
It cuts out some of the quieter moments that I think give you some impact and really build up the Billy character to this point where you really sympathize with him.
I think the only thing that you're really missing out on are the grandpa scenes. And obviously, Ricky, the kid in this movie who is Billy's younger brother, who is in the first movie.
Barely.
In the opening, the inciting incident when Billy sees his parents murdered and assaulted by a guy in a Santa Claus suit. Ricky is there, but he's an infant.
Yeah.
But he remembers.
Ricky, as an infant, remembers an awful lot, particularly from the perspective of Billy.
Yeah. But
I mean, he was in the car the whole time, but
right. I mean,
still gets flashbacks to his mom's chest being, exposed by Santa Claus by the front of the car.
You're right, which there's no way that he could have seen, even as an infant, in the backseat of the car.
Well, there is a lot.
I know. I mean, I'm picking nits. What I was getting at was the only thing from the first movie that I missed were the grandpa scenes. But Ricky wouldn't have been there to see those. So
fair enough. I don't know. I kind of thought the first movie did a really nice job. I thought the actor who played Billy in the first movie was really pretty good. I liked seeing his breakdown and there was some cool stuff. And again, you see it in this too, in the clips, but there's actually some interesting cinematography and editing going on there. I mean, it was kind of a fun movie. This movie is far campier and silly when we get to the second half. I would almost say skip the first half and just jump to the second half. And then you only, have 20 minutes to watch or so. And it's kind of fun. It's fun in the way that a really hilariously goofy, over-the-top, campy, bad movie is.
I couldn't tell you the last time I saw this. I saw it when I was a kid, and I apologize for jumping all over the place, but I just keep thinking about other things. Like, the whole plan for this movie, basically, as I understand it, was to profit off of the name through rental.
Yeah.
And it worked. Like, I read, finally watching it again, I was still irritated with the stuff in the beginning. And even in the beginning stuff, the main actor is nutty in this. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But I don't know, in that whole first 45 minutes, there's maybe 3 or 4 minutes of stuff that's worth seeing. You could probably find a compilation on YouTube. But when it does get to the second half, I was like, oh, yeah, this is fun. I mean, it's all cramped into like 30-ish minutes once you really get going. But once it does get going, it's fun. It's, the killer is unhinged. It's just silly violence. There's, like you said, campy stuff going on all around. That last part is amusing. I would never go so far to say good, but
oh God, no.
Amusing in the it's so bad it's good, but it also, and I really think it is, it feels very self-aware.
Yeah.
It seems like they know what they're doing. It doesn't seem like they're trying to be serious. It's intentionally over the top.
Well, years later, the actor who played the main character here, and his name is Eric Freeman, who, by the way, I thought that I had seen him in other stuff. He just has a very familiar-looking face. He's bulky as heck. But no, like, I looked at his credits, and he's got almost nothing.
He looks like the boyfriend from Teen Witch. That's what he looks like to me.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. He's just got this and we're up in his face a lot. We're in his face a lot.
Yeah.
He said that this was just a simple paycheck for him. He was not in it. It was like $1,400 for a handful of days of shooting. And he was getting conflicting messages from the director and the 2 writers. The director is one of the writers. There are like 4 people credited with the story, and then 2 main writers on here. Interestingly enough, the producers originally hired the director, who never directed anything before, but he was an editor, Lee Harry, to just edit the first movie into a sequel. Like, he was literally going to do nothing more than just re-edit the first movie somehow. In some way, you could justify making a sequel out of it. And he's like, come on, guys, like, let's add some more stuff.
I read something like they were going to shoot some sort of wraparound where it was going to turn out that the events of the first movie never really happened. They were just some delusions in some crazy person's mind.
The ravings of a madman.
Right.
And we've seen that before, where people just do that.
I don't know. I can't think of anything offhand. But, I mean, it's not like it's a radical idea. Again, I think they were just trying to make money. They just wanted to get something out. To make fast.
a buck,
yeah, they just wanted to get something out fast. But it evolved into this, and I think originally there was another edit of this where it was even more. It was more like what you just said. It was mostly just a recut. I don't remember if it didn't test well or the producers didn't like it or something, and that's when he kind of got permission to go in and shoot more of the Ricky stuff.
Yeah, they got like $250,000 to go in and shoot some more Ricky stuff beyond just what was inside the room. Where he is with the doctor. And so he was told by one of the guys to really overact. And so he's deliberately and intentionally overacting. He thought the whole time he was basically shooting a comedy, and he hadn't even seen the first movie. He said, my head wasn't really in this. I had other plans for my acting career at this time. This was definitely just a paycheck. He got $1,400 for it. And he just kind of did what he was told and didn't really know much about the first movie. He said, if I had seen the first movie, I think I would have played this differently. But no, he's over the top acting. His eyebrows are like, they have a mind of their own. His eyebrows need agents in this one.
I know, but I read that even that was directed.
Yeah, it was.
They told him to be really super exaggerated with his eyebrows, with his face, in his delivery. And it's goofy and over the top, but I don't know. It's funny. I get it. Like, if you're making a joke, I just don't know if people expected a joke, because the first movie,
right?
You can find dark comedy in it, I guess, but it's really dark. This one, the comedy is more overt, and maybe, I don't know, maybe had I known that that was the intention, I would have felt a different way about it. But at the time, and even just until today, this morning, when I got up and watched it at 6:30 this morning, I was like, I think I get it. I think I get what they were going for. And I don't know, maybe that's just, hindsight being 2020, or maybe it's looking at it through a different cultural lens. I don't know, but I get why people like it now.
Well, I think it kind of devolves into comedy because the way it starts out, it seems self-serious. And actually...
Does it?
It's so self-serious that it is a bit campy. I mean, it felt a little like they were going in a pretentious direction in the beginning, and then it went on so hard that I thought maybe they are trying to be funny, but there were never any hints. It wasn't like later when it's just flat out crazy, like the dude's like walking down the street like RoboCop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in this case, it seems like they're really going for style. I mean, there's the credit sequence, there's a slow pan up his legs, he's sitting smoking, there's close-ups on the cigarette, close-ups on his eyes, a door opens but we don't see who it is walking in, and then it turns out to be some orderly who never says a word, and I'm convinced they just didn't want to pay this guy the fees you have to pay a guy to actually give him a line, because I mean anybody in this situation would have said a line at some point, and he goes through this whole bit not doing it, sets up a reel-to-reel tape recorder on the table in this little white room, staring at him, looking over his shoulder, won't take his eyes off him, big eyes, plugs it into the wall. This was his only job, was to drop this in the room, plug it into the wall, and walk out. And
it takes 5 minutes.
Stretches it out for 10 minutes. I know, it's insane. And you do feel like this movie really is trying hard to stretch things out at times, and this is definitely one of those moments. And so I just wasn't sure if they were just trying to be stylish or if this was supposed to be as funny as it comes across, because it's pretty darn funny. And then another doctor walks in the room, and another guy, I swear, he just looked so frickin' familiar to me. But he's not been really in anything. The doctor?
I don't know. He wasn't familiar to me. Oh, the Dr. Bloom?
James Newman is his name. He's been like a guy in Legally Blonde too. He was in just a couple episodes of some things. Nothing else. Again, I think he's just an actor who looks like another actor. But anyway,
everybody in this movie kind of is just generically 80s.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the orderly has kind of an early, not today, but like an early Samuel L. Jackson kind of look to him with kind of the big eyes. And
that's a good point, actually.
And later on, the blonde girlfriend kind of looks like every blonde girlfriend from the 80s, like the blonde girlfriend from Weird Science.
At least we've seen her and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I didn't remember that either. But everybody's just kind of generically 80s, including the main guy. But I get what you're saying where it feels kind of self-serious, but I just don't know. And I looked for like documentaries or, people talking about this, and and not for very long, but I didn't find anything. I just would be interested to know if I assume at the time, the director initially wanted it to be a comedy, right? I don't know. Hold on.
I don't know. They, like I said, they gave conflicting information to him. One of them told him to kind of play up the comedy. One of them told him to overact. I guess the writers were in the room. One of them was the actual director.
Yeah,
so.
It said what I'm reading is that Lee Harry has said that the producers wanted a straight slasher, but he wanted to lean in to the dark comedy just because he thought that it was so absurd. So that's why he directed everybody to kind of play it big. And I don't know. I mean, looking at it from that perspective, I think in the past I've just tried to look at it as a direct sequel. I'm expecting something along the same lines, and it takes such a hard veer into the comedy that I think that it just kind of threw me off kilter. If you approach it as that, like as so bad it's good or intentionally goofy, I think you'll appreciate it a lot more. Yeah, you'll enjoy it a lot more, and I did this time around.
Yeah. See, this is why we do this. This is why we visit these movies. Even though we have bad feelings about them, sometimes we come back to them with a whole new eyes, don't we? So thank you to those patrons out there who asked for it.
I'm not giving it a glowing endorsement. It is a bad movie, but it's funny. And it's kind of funny to watch, but that whole thing, like you said, like the orderly never taking his eyes off the guy, like it's so intense, like it's ridiculously intense, like he is just staring him down. Mm-hmm. And then Ricky, I mean, he's just playing, like, I don't know, like James Dean cool, smoking his cigarettes and his jeans and his jean shirt, and you know, he's in an institution or whatever, so he's kind of in these institutional clothes. But the doctor comes in, the doctor's like,
"My name is Dr. Bloom. You can call me Henry, or if you would feel more comfortable, you can just call me Doc." Fuck off, Doc.
And I was like, oh, he's a badass.
Right.
Like, that's just
oh my God.
Okay, I see. We're dealing with a real badass here.
Well, they cast him. They were going to cast another actor that they said was actually more experienced, but they said they liked his look. They liked that he was kind of this big. He's a bodybuilder, dude. You know, I mean, he not bodybuilder like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but this guy's got muscles. You know, he looks like a footballer,
and he's broad chested.
Yeah,
he looks like a football player, and he's handsome.
He is. He looks good. And honestly, like, I'd like to see this guy really acting instead of overacting. I think he might be quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're just up in his face the whole time, and he's just got these lines all the time that just sound over the top. I mean, the dialogue in these sequences is ridiculous. But really, we only see them a few times.
Yeah.
There's like 30 seconds of each one, and then we're jumped to a clip from the first movie and a little bit of his narration from it. And you're right, it is just like the best bits.
Right. When he is delivering those lines so intensely, the camera is right in his face.
Yeah.
Like, most of it, like...
Sometimes he's looking at the camera.
Yeah. They're actually... Okay, so then we get into... The doctor's like, I'm your last chance. Last chance for what? Like, what is happening? I
have no idea. Why is he here? Why is he recording this conversation?
What is he doing?
What's going on? I have no idea.
Yeah, and Ricky's like, well, I've talked to all the doctors and I know all the tricks, you know, whatever, because he's a tough guy. But then the doctor's like, well, first of all, they put on the screen date, December 24th. Why? Who cares?
Like, that's significant.
Why do you need to put that as like a text on the screen? I think we could figure that out some other time or whatever. But anyway, then he's like, who killed your parents? And does Ricky say something like, are you ready for it? Santa Claus. And then
he does that more than once. And
then it's the flashback to the whole first movie. So if you haven't seen the first movie and you don't want to watch it, just go back and listen to our episode, because I'm sure we go over it in great detail. But
yes.
That's what happens. We watch the whole movie for the next 40 minutes with Ricky popping in and out periodically. And there's actually, there is some fun. You know, this guy was an editor, and I think that he has specialized in movie trailers. He's done some movie trailers for some really big, there's some cool editing in here. Even in the flashbacks, they will sometimes quickly cut back to Ricky as he's kind of reliving and retelling the story. And it's really fast kind of stuff, but I appreciated that editing stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, there were bits where, like, it would just jump to him, or it would flash back and forth to him, like he was having this flashback in the moment. And yeah, it was really cool.
And he's in the moment, like he's kind of like, we know he's telling the story, but it's edited in such a way that it's almost like he's so in the moment that he's a part of the story.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I thought that actually, like, the editing was good. You know, to make something like this somewhat interesting is going to be a challenge. And I think, you know, they did the best that they could, and it turned out, you know, for those moments anyway, somewhat interesting. And honestly, if you had not seen the first movie before, you might enjoy this first half. I mean, honestly, think about it.
It's true. They show all the best parts, yeah.
It's like you said, you could skip seeing the first movie, you could just see this whole thing, and you could take it all as one movie, and it would be fine. I mean, I think, like I said, I think you'd be missing out on a little bit more of what makes the first movie kind of fun. But like you said, you see all the best scenes, all the gore and everything. And it's clear that they didn't have as big a budget for the second half, because a lot of the kills are underwhelming or off screen. There's just not much for makeup or effects or anything like that until the very end.
Yeah, okay, so we see the whole first movie again, and the first movie ends with Billy the initial killer, getting shot by the police right in front of his brother.
Yep.
Now we get into Ricky's story, and we find out that I liked this. He got put into a good foster home with nice parents.
Yeah.
That never happens in these movies.
No, not usually.
But he gets put into a nice place with nice parents. And
it looks like the Wonder Years. There's like Super 8 style footage of them like barbecuing in the back and stuff. It's kind of cute.
And there's never a turn. Like you expect, like at some point he's with his mom and he sees some nuns on the street and he freaks out. And then he sees some like red cloth in a window and he flashes back to his brother getting shot in the Santa suit.
Yeah.
It freaks him out, and the mom is concerned, and they go back to talk to the nuns from the convent or whatever that he was adopted from, and I was like, oh, this is where it's terrible. They're going to send him back. No. Like, they're just really concerned about him, and they want to, do everything that they can, and they take him back home, and they're great. Eventually, his foster dad dies, and it hits him really hard, and then that's kind of,
By the way, where he goes 5 years later, and I'm like, okay, this kid is 12. This kid does not look 5 years older than what we just saw. And then I was reading the trivia, and it's like, yeah, like he was even older than adult Ricky. It's pretty funny.
I had read that too. Well, the Ricky that's being interviewed in the institution is supposed to be 18. That guy does not look 18
God, no.
to me.
That's true.
I would say he's well into his 20s. But at this point, when his dad dies, he's supposed to be 15. And yes, I read that too, that the actor who plays the 15-year-old Ricky is older than the actor that played the 18-year-old Ricky. But I didn't think he looked 15, but I didn't think he looked older than the other guy.
He just looked massively older than the one we had seen before. But
Sure.
It's funny because now we're going to get new information because he says his stepdad died, and there's like a scene with him and his stepmom there at the grave, and his stepmom walks one way and he walks another way for some reason, I don't know. And he's like, I used to like to hike in the backwoods.
I've never told anybody this before. Let it out. Here it comes.
And the camera even is like close up on his face. Oh God, the dialogue is so funny.
And it's like he's got like a wicked smile, like get ready for this.
Oh my gosh, he's so sinister. He's hiking in the woods. He comes upon a Jeep, which is out there, and it's red. And there's a couple picnicking in the grass, and, he looks from the trees, and he watches the boyfriend being naughty with her. What triggered the first guy, his brother, was flashing back to his mother being almost raped. And what we got in the first movie were a couple, 2 or 3 different scenes of women almost being raped, which triggered Ricky to kill them. I'm sorry, triggered Billy to kill them. It seems like Ricky's a little more open to different triggers. Sometimes it's the rape that he was really, really young and probably didn't even see from inside the car, but nevertheless, oftentimes it's red. It's the color red that messes him up. But in this case, it's just this rape. He's like, oh, you're naughty.
These movies, God, I mean, we see the scene, when his mom is assaulted in the first movie, and then we see in the first movie, these coworkers are like flirting through this whole party, and then they go back into the stockroom or whatever, and the guy attempts to rape her.
Yeah.
And that's what triggers Billy. And then this happens here too. This seems like a couple, like, they're out there, and the guy basically tries to rape her too. Like, everybody is so rapey in these movies.
They're rapey. I think we said that about the previous one too. And this guy's bizarrely rapey because he tries to rape her. She's very upset. Then he goes, F this, I'm getting a beer, but I'll be back. And he walks away, and she just sits there like she's going to wait for him to come back. I mean,
right.
Yeah, oh, God. It's just so dumb.
Right. So he goes back to his, Ricky sees like naughty. So the guy goes to his Jeep to get a beer or whatever, and there's a camera trick where the guy is standing in front of the Jeep and then he moves or something to reveal Ricky behind the wheel. And then Ricky just runs him over back and forth.
Multiple times.
It was hilarious. And then he does it and he gets out and the girl walks up and goes, thank you, and walks away. God, the sense of justice here. Crazy.
Then we get back to the room. And he says something to I don't know, there's some back and forth between him and the doctor.
It shows the doctor like furiously writing in all capital huge letters, red car. Like this is some huge revelation.
I know, it's crazy. Anyway, he says something to him, I can't remember exactly what it was, like, what was your home life like, whatever, and the doctor's like, oh, it was actually pretty good, blah, 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 blah. And then Ricky goes, my aunt couldn't afford to send me to college, so I got a job. And the next scene, and this is kind of what it is from here on out, it's really just scenes. It's not really a story.
Not so much.
It's just, here's the thing that happened to me then, and this thing happened to me then, and he's just taking the trash out to an alley. He sees two guys fighting, doesn't intervene, doesn't do anything, doesn't want to punish anybody, until one of them pulls out an insanely large, bright red handkerchief and wipes his face with it. And Ricky sees that. And Ricky has the same super strength that Billy had in the previous movie to be able to hold people up really high by the neck. He does that.
By one hand. By one arm.
Yeah, by one hand. He takes his other arm, finds an umbrella nearby, and the look on his face when he sees that umbrella, pulls it up, I laughed out loud. It was hilarious. It's just total camp. If you have any question if this movie's going to be campy or not, this scene settles it for you, because he shoves the umbrella through this guy's stomach, and then when the camera pulls out, you see that the umbrella has opened up on the other side, and it's all bloody
and tattered. Yeah.
The guy falls forward on the ground. Ricky walks away, and we have this long, lingering scene of the bloody umbrella, and then it starts raining.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even know that.
And it slowly pushes it on the umbrella again, because they're definitely pushing for time.
Yeah. And it's funny you said the red handkerchief. Red does play into it so much, and we're told very early on in that scene when he's a kid that the color red triggers him and freaks him out. But to be fair, in this scene, the guy that he kills is a bookie who was beating up and threatening to kill another guy in the back. So up to this point, he's only killed a couple people, but they've both been bad guys.
Yeah.
At some point that changes,
True.
But at this point, he, I think as delusional and psychotic as it was, Billy in the first movie had ingrained in him by Mother Superior that people who are naughty deserve to be punished. Punishment is good. So, obviously he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but he was trying to punish people for bad behavior. And even his notions of what was good and what was bad were very skewed by his upbringing. But there's kind of this moralistic thing to it. And up until this point, it's the same. There's kind of a moralistic thing to it. It's not like he's just going out and killing people at random, as he will later.
Right. When the movie takes a turn.
Yeah, right. Anyway.
No, you're right, and that's important to point out. It was such a strong element of the first movie, and it was very consistent through the first movie. This one, you're right, it just kind of goes off the rails at some point. But here, he's still doing that. I love this interstitial again, where he's like, Richard, do you know why you're here? Tell me. No, you tell me. I asked you first. I'm finished talking, Henry. Who's this? And he pulls out a photo.
A headshot.
A headshot, yeah.
I didn't understand that at all.
It's like the actress's headshot.
Yeah, it's like signed.
Yes.
It's like, what is happening?
What is this?
And the girl in the movie is not supposed to be an actress or anything. She's just a normal girl.
I think it's a prop she brought in.
I bet anything it was her actual headshot.
Oh, it has to be.
It was so funny.
It's so funny it's been signed.
They have a meet cute where she hits him with her car and then laughs. She hits him. He's on his motorcycle, and it's not like they have a car accident or whatever. Like it's very low impact. He's not even moving, and she just kind of bumps him, but he falls over, and she hits him with her car, and then she gets out, and he's down on the ground, and his bicycle's out, and she just starts laughing like, "That's so funny."
Poor guy.
And then their
romance from then on is important.
Right, romantic. And this is very typical. Like you said, it just feels like a series of vignettes. I feel like it could have been fleshed out into a full 85 minutes. you could have done more with this relationship. This was maybe even my favorite part. It was kind of cute. It is just basically a little romance montage where they have their meet cute, and then they ride his motorcycle, and then they have sex.
Yeah, that was a really long, again, stretched out for time all over her body. Apparently it was supposed to be even more involved. That's interesting. This actress, though, we've seen her before. She's Elizabeth Kaitan. She was in the last Friday the 13th movie we did. She was one of the girls in there. Right. She was in a lot of these like silly made for cable kind of movies, like Dr. Alien and Nightwish and several of the Vice Academy comedy. I don't know. A lot of these movies I used to watch late at night on USA, she was in.
Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, she was very, very familiar to me anyway. But yeah, she looks good. She's pretty. She does a fine job. She might be the best actress in this whole thing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have their little meet cute. They have their little riding around without helmets on, which always drives me crazy, but that's the movie thing, I guess. Sorry, I sound like an old man when I say that. And then they end up in a movie theater. It's a very tiny movie theater. It looks more like a screening room with 6 people in it.
It looks like a porn set.
It kind of does. Actually, it probably was. And a whole bunch of really complicated stuff happens here. Like, they're trying to watch the movie. There are these 2 guys in the back who are dicking around and being goofy. There's this older couple in the middle who just look confused and keep staring ahead. Then he decides to get up for some reason, and then some other dude pops up behind her all of a sudden, says his name is Chip, and it's clearly like an earlier flame, and they have a kind of argument, and then it cuts back to the back where the goofy dude is dicking around with the other guy, and they do this funny little camera trick where suddenly the other guy is replaced with Billy, and I'm sorry, with Ricky in like a split second. I don't know what Ricky did with that other guy. Silently, soundlessly.
I don't either.
But suddenly he's there, and then like he kind of pounces on him, and we see like a cartoon, like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah.
This guy's leg just flies in the air, and popcorn
flying. I thought that was really funny. The theater, or at least what they're showing us, again, it's clearly a set. It's like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 rows of 4 or 5 seats of theater seating. But there's that middle-aged couple that you were talking about is sitting in the row or just 1 or 2 rows in front of where he's killing him. And then the girlfriend and her ex-boyfriend are just a couple of rows in front of that. Like, it is cartoonish. It is funny. But my favorite line in the whole movie is when the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, is talking to the blonde girl. And he's like, come on, babe. Come on, babe. You know you want me back.
Go away.
Hey, I'm trying to give you another chance.
Great. You stood me up. You cheated on me. You ruined my best sweater. And I would rather die before I go out with you again.
You ruined my best sweater. Her delivery is perfect.
I laughed out loud so hard.
Yeah, it was funny.
You ruined my best sweater. I'd rather die than go out with you again. Oh my God. So funny. Okay.
And in a testament to how good this writing is, Chip was introduced in that first scene just so that the 2 of them are walking down the street. He's in front of his red car, which he also calls out later.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Ricky can see that he's an old flame, and that enrages him. And Chip is like, "Hey, baby, don't you want to get back with me, all that stuff?" And then he goes, "That's enough." And then Chip goes, "Yeah, that's what she said when I f***ed your brains out in the back seat of old Red here."
Yeah.
And then my favorite kill of the whole movie, right here.
Yeah, it's fun.
Again, out in broad daylight, as often happens, right in front of his girlfriend, who does nothing for a while. Ricky just basically pulls one of the what do you call it? Cables off of the
jumper cables.
Yeah, I guess he's jumping his car, isn't he, from some other battery? And he sticks it in his mouth onto his tongue. And this guy, this must have been the most expensive special effect in the whole movie, because they clearly had to make like a fake head or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he very close up. He cranks up the juice, and the guy, starts smoking from inside the mouth and gets burned up. There's a little bit of an animation in there too. It's kind of impressive. I like this bit. And then she runs up behind him and goes, What are you doing? Are you out of your mind? You killed him. I hate you, Ricky. I hate you.
And then my second favorite line in the movie, he looks at her and says, "Punish," and like grabs the car antenna, and she goes, "Uh-oh."
She literally says,
and turns around and runs away.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
This is the point where I was like, okay, this is clearly off the rails, because then it looks like he's going to go after her too, but then suddenly a cop appears, and it's like Andy Griffith.
Yeah, but he kills her. He strangles her with the antenna.
Did he strangle her right then and there with the antenna? Okay, you're right.
I think so. Yeah, and then the cop shows up.
Appears, and he's like, "Oh, put your gun down." And he comes at him, walks straight up to him. "You put your hands up." He gets so close to him that obviously Ricky can just grab the gun, turn it on the cop, and shoot him in the forehead. So now Ricky has a gun, and now Ricky is RoboCop. At this point, I was thinking, where is Santa Claus in this movie? Like, where are we going to get Ricky as Santa?
Oh, yeah.
But I realized we had Ricky as RoboCop, and I enjoyed that far more, and that was enough for me. He starts walking deliberately down the street in what must be the quietest neighborhood ever. As a guy comes running out of the house and goes, "Hey, what's going on here?" Shoots him. Big blood spray up against the wall.
And he's laughing maniacally like...
Cackling.
It's just so stupid.
And then a guy comes out putting the garbage down, and he goes, "Garbage day." And he shoots him through the garbage can.
Yeah, which has become like a huge meme, and that's when people talk about this movie, that if you mention this movie and people know this movie, that's what they'll say, "Garbage day." And I guess that was just improvised on the day.
It works.
But see, at this point, like he's totally lost it. Like, these people didn't do anything wrong. But there is a funny part where he shot a bunch of people. Like, there's bodies everywhere.
Right.
And this little girl bumps into him with her tricycle, and she's like, "Excuse me." And he's like, "Okay." And she just rides away.
Rides off. Oh, my God. And then a car comes at him, and he shoots at the car, and there's a little car stunt. Yeah, a red car. He shoots at the car twice. He hits the driver, which causes the car to go a little off into something else, which flips it over. And in the act of flipping this car over also makes it explode. And again, I'm waiting for more people to run out. I'm waiting for more cops to show up. And eventually, 2 cops do show up. They are already blocking the road, and they've got their guns trained on him, and they're telling him to put his gun down. And then he starts turning the gun on himself. And they're like, "No, don't do it. It's not worth it. No, don't do it."
Oh, my God. That audio is so funny.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I read somewhere that most of this is ADR.
Oh, gotta be.
Almost every... not even just this scene, like the whole movie.
It's gotta be, man.
I'm pretty sure that the interviewer guy, that's not the actor's voice. Yeah, it's ADR.
Sometimes it's really obvious.
A lot of Ricky's dialogue is ADR. To be fair, whoever did the ADR did a good job, because I don't know that I would have necessarily have known. It matches up pretty well.
Yeah, not for a lot of it. Some of it's obvious, but yeah.
And this part with the cops, it was don't do it.
Oh, God.
Oh, gosh, it was so funny.
Oh, man.
So funny. But he tries to shoot himself, but the gun's empty when he tries to shoot himself.
Yep.
And he's like, "Stupid mistake," or something. And he's still talking to Bloom, but then it's revealed that off camera, he has strangled him with the tape from the tape recorder.
Yep.
I find that unlikely. That tape is not that strong.
Good point, actually, yeah.
So he escapes.
And we have all new characters suddenly introduced for the last 10 minutes. There's a detective. Of course there's a detective. And there's a nun there for some reason. And is this supposed to be the younger nun from the first movie?
I don't know. I think it's just somebody from that convent that he lived at or whatever.
And she tells us exactly what we need to know.
He walked out of here 6 hours ago. It's Christmas Eve.
The orphanage is closed, Lieutenant. Mother Superior had a stroke. She's retired and lives alone. Oh, my God.
So they surmise that he's going now to settle the score with Mother Superior from the first movie.
Which he is. You know what's funny talking about this? It's like they had an outline for a script and they just shot the outline. Like I really feel like all of these things. I really feel like all of these things could have been tied together.
Right, you're right.
And there could have been a cohesive movie, but they just had plot points, and they're like, well, let's just shoot the plot points. let's not worry about the connective tissue. Let's just shoot these different parts. You know, eventually he's gonna get his revenge on Mother Superior, and that's the part that we're at now.
Well, in that way, honestly, I hate to interrupt you, but in that way, it really does kind of match the first half of the movie, doesn't it? Because it's really just clips of plot points from the first film.
That's true.
It's not entirely tonally off in this way. It's just like these are flash forwards instead of flashbacks.
So he kills the Salvation Army Santa for the suit.
Off screen,
and gets in the suit, and he looks in the phone book. I guess he looked up Mother Superior.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah. And what is up with her face?
Yeah.
Why does half of her face a big mess?
People who have had strokes do not turn into lizard people on one half of their face.
I don't know if they were trying to obscure, like that it was a different actress.
Maybe. I read, there's something in the trivia that's not really trivia. It's just somebody's opinion, but I thought it was funny. I mean, the part of it is because her address is 666, which is evil.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the first movie, she's clearly the villain. She's the bad guy or whatever. And maybe it wasn't in the trivia. I don't know where I read it, but it's something like she's not the Mother Superior anymore. And she lives at 666. And she doesn't just have a droopy face like a stroke victim. She has a demon face. So she's a demon.
We're giving this movie far too much credit.
Yeah.
Far too much
credit.
But,
I mean, her face is gross and messed up on one side. I don't know. And Ricky axes his way in.
Shining style.
And he's like, I've got a present for you. Yeah, there are about 15 Jack Torrance style shots of him axing his way through doors and looking
Multiple doors.
Yeah.
Again, stretching for time. It's like, we need to kill 5 more minutes. Throw another door in front of him. Well, how are we going to shoot that? Shoot it the way you shot the last one. Just like The Shining. Here we go. Yep. Are you ready for it?
There's a little bit of a chase. She's in a wheelchair, by the by, so it's not a very exciting chase.
No, it's not. But she's distracted. He's distracted. His shadow is axing up everything in the room. Yeah. She goes for the staircase, right? And he comes out like, what's she gonna do?
Yes.
There was like one of those seats that take you down the stairs or something.
But there wasn't.
I don't understand.
No, there wasn't.
No.
Or at least I didn't see one if there was.
I mean, the first thing I saw when he first came in the house, and we knew there was this woman in the house in a wheelchair, I was like, why is she on the second floor?
Right. Why does she live in a house with a huge staircase? Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so she goes to the staircase, and I don't know what she's trying to do.
But he, I think, swings the axe at her or something. I don't know. But she falls down the stairs. Fortunately, there's another wheelchair right down there at the bottom that she can climb into.
I know. Where did that come from?
We must be being led to believe that there's a chairlift there. That's the only explanation.
But he walked up those stairs. He did not pull a wheelchair behind him as he did that. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Right.
And she took a tumble, too.
Oh, yeah.
And he has a very hard time. It takes him an awful lot of time for him to pull his axe out of the seat of that wheelchair.
Yeah, the fabric seat. He can lift a grown man with one arm.
Right.
But he can't get that axe out of the seat of
too much for him.
Regular wheelchair.
They don't make them like they used to, man.
Right. So she's able to wheel herself into the kitchen and get a big knife. And she wheels herself back into the dining room and she's like, come out, Ricky.
And she's feeling cocky.
Oh, yeah. She's tough. She's a bad bitch.
You were naughty, and now it's time for your punishment again. I didn't get to punish you the first time.
Yeah, you're just like your brother.
Yeah. God.
I'm not afraid of you. You're weak, just like your brother. Must be punished. And he comes out, and she's like, you're being very naughty. And he says, naughty this. And then it cuts away.
Oh man, cuts away. The cops have arrived. No, at least the detective got one more scene in here. He comes in with this nun, and they see the Mother Superior sitting there at the table, but she's not moving. And the nun walks over. I mean, I saw this coming a mile away. But anyway, the nun walks over and it's like, Mother Superior, are you all right? And she touches her face and her head falls off. She screams. And then Ricky comes up behind with a big axe in the air, and just like his brother, the cop shoots him about a dozen times, and he flies backwards through the French doors outside, lays down on the ground, his eyes are closed, we get a close-up on him, the camera slowly pans up his body, and he looks dead. And the cop comes down to the nun and Sister Mary, who's on the floor. Are you okay? And she turns to the side, and she sees Mother Superior's head there, and she screams! And then it cuts us out to Ricky, whose eyes open, and he smirks. What? Is he alive?
The end. Yeah, what? I don't know.
It's
I
one
guess
of
he
those.
was just satisfied.
One of those horror endings.
Who cares?
Yeah, and apparently the credits had to last about 11 minutes, or else they couldn't get this to even an hour and 30. So
yeah, I think they ran the full credits for both movies, the first one and the second.
Yeah.
one, or they re-edited, but they credited everybody from the first movie and the second movie also to add even
that's
more
how desperate they were.
And then I think that if I remember correctly, and I may be totally wrong, I didn't look this up, so you would have to fact check this if you're actually interested. But I think that part 3 is still somehow connected to this story. Somehow.
Didn't we do part 3?
No, we've never done part 3.
Really? We've done 4 and 5?
We've done 4 and 5.
Did we even do 6? Was there a 6?
I don't know how many there are, but I think
we did.
The point I was trying to make was I think that after part 3, it just goes into totally different territory. Like they abandon the original story.
Yeah, it's just like a franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of those later ones are so wacky. Like the Toy Maker one was so wacky. I really liked it.
That's the one with Mickey Rooney in it.
Yeah.
And Screaming Mad George did all those effects, and they're crazy weird, and Ron Howard's brothers in it. That was a crazy one.
Yes.
And the initiation with the ladies in the Witch's Coven was also fun.
It was weird. And yeah, those later ones are so weird that they're definitely worth checking out. I will say that I think now I can finally understand why people find pleasure and joy in this one. I think I finally get it.
Yeah.
It is campy, and it is silly, and it is funny. If you approach it through that lens, I do think that you can have a really good time with it. The first half kind of irritated me. It felt kind of like a waste of time. Like, yeah, I've seen the first movie. But there, again, like I said, there's even some interesting editing stuff going on there. I use the term interesting loosely, as interesting as it can be. But then the second half of the movie, I don't know. I just I feel like I get it. I'm still. It's not like I'm a huge fan. It's not like I would ever get real enthusiastic in a recommendation of it. But it is campy. There is fun to be had. And I think that most of the people who listen to us share similar tastes, could find enjoyment in it. Just it's silly. If you're looking for the silliness, you could have a good time.
I mean, you had me braced for a slog. For years, you've been saying, God, I don't want to do this one because it's mostly just clips from the first movie. And so, when I was watching, I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, that's just what it's going to be. But then when I saw the first movie kind of wrapping up about halfway through, I was like, okay, well, where's it going to go from here? And I was not disappointed at all.
Good.
I just got funnier and funnier and funnier to the point, like you said, where it was clear that they were not taking this seriously. And I was on board with it. I rarely do I laugh out loud at movies. And there were 3 moments in this movie where I laughed. I'm sitting by myself, watching it on a computer, taking notes, and I freaking laughed out loud. The lines. Oh, and I was just, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed
I'm glad.
it. But like you said, like we said earlier, if you haven't seen the first one, just watch this one, and you'll probably find it at least compelling for one reason or another all the way through. If you have seen the first one, just jump to the middle and watch it from there and save yourself some time. But it's worth it, I think. It's fun. And eventually it wraps up and brings back Christmas. I was afraid it wasn't going to do that. But yeah, he becomes Santa Claus at the end and kind of parallels the first one with his brother and all that and the nuns. So that was cool. Yeah. I mean, I recommend it on those bases.
Put it on in the background at your Christmas party.
Oh, on your Christmas party. That's what we're going to say now.
It'd be fun ambiance.
Yeah. Well, you're rolling out cookie dough and punching out gingerbread men.
Everybody will cheer when he says garbage day, and it'll be festive.
It's so funny. Thank you guys so much for recommending this movie to us. We're really happy to get back to it and reappraise it after all these years. If you have any more Christmas movies you'd like us to do, please just drop us a line. You can find us online at chainsawhorror.com. You can click talk to us. You can send us an audio clip, and we'd be happy to play those on the air. That's been fun these last few episodes. Or you can just shoot us an email, sign up for our newsletter. It's also there on the page, and if you just respond to the newsletter, you'll send us a direct message, and that'll get to us as well. Just leave a comment there on Facebook. You can be a patron if you so desire. $5 a month gets you all access, and you can hear all the complete unedited phone calls and what boring stuff is happening in our personal lives before and after the call, all the juicy tidbits that I cut out of the middle just to annoy you guys and make you pay us. You can do that if you really care. We also record mini-sodes from time to time, and that's pretty fun. We have a nice little book club going behind the scenes as well. So patreon.com/Chainsaw Podcast. Until next time, I'm Todd.
And I'm Craig.
With 2 guys and a chainsaw.